Hi, I'm Adam, and you know that I've had 11 corporate jobs so far in 13 years. I'm going to tell you how to get a corporate job and the secret into getting an interview and landing that position. Because I've always somewhat good at it, I guess. Rule number one you got to learn. And I thought that I was the only one that this was happening to. I kept getting laid off from jobs, kept getting, I've gotten fired from a couple jobs. And in the IT industry, I've noticed that a lot of people are going through the same thing, the same struggle. So I want to share with you what I've learned. Okay. Um, First thing you got to do is if you suspect that you are in trouble at your job is to immediately start looking for other jobs, start looking for other opportunities. I would send my resume out, create a database or something, some kind of CSV file of like the people who you sent your resume out, and if they returned your call or not, send it out to like so many recruiters. You can find them on Indeed. You need to be your own search engine, basically. And I would spend at least an hour or two a day doing this. Apply to like 10, at least 10 different jobs every day. Another thing that you want to be doing is if you're a male, I suggest shaving your beard. No, I don't have my beard shaved. Shave your beard and get a haircut. If it's not part of your religion, get rid of your beard. You want to be clean shaven when you go to these interviews. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they tell you. Another thing is if you're a male, get a nice 2 or 3 good suits. You want a black suit. You want a black suit for interviewing, or a bluish suit for interviewing. No white, none of that stuff. You want a nice red tie, basically red, or if you're red, if it's blue, um, maybe blue if it's black. I would not go with a black tie. Okay, you don't want to look like you're going to a funeral. Or yellow, that looks a little out there. Basically, you want to get nice dress shoes, nice the stuff. Maybe go to Men's Warehouse, something like that. Make sure you're looking good. You're looking snazzy. And practice your interviews before you do it. If you are a coder, I would do HackerRank tests, because they give you these HackerRank tests basically. Honestly, you got to learn how to sell yourself. Okay, so what are you good at? If you're good at testing, then tell them how good you are at testing. If you're good at programming in Java, tell them the projects you've done. You want to sell yourself. Don't outsell yourself. If you're, for example, if you're not good at Python, don't apply to a job with Python. Always do something that you think you can do, or that they specifically say that they would train you to do. Also, you got to be your number one advocate. Okay, you got to be looking out for number one. Now, the number one thing is that people don't realize is that you can defer your bills and loans, and stuff like that. If you are unemployed, you can defer your healthcare bills. You can even get your healthcare bill lowered if you're fired or unemployed. You can look up how to do this on the internet. A lot of people don't know this. Make sure you do that so that you can keep going, because the number one thing is you do not want to become homeless. You do not want to go over a certain amount. I would reach into your nest egg. Use the money you have in your checking account first, and I would immediately, don't pay off your credit card right now. Just pay it down a little bit, the minimum right now. I know the interest rate's high. If you need more money, get a loan from your bank or a credit union. and make sure that, you know, when you get that loan, that you're paying it back, right? At the end, you know, you get that loan, it's going to be a much lower interest rate than a credit card, you know. And basically, you know, you gotta hustle. You gotta be on top of phone calls. You know, make sure that you are good. Now, I would say that you should clean up your social media, but I would be a hypocrite. My social media is insane. But definitely, if you go into your job, when you're at your job, it's about work. Don't talk about politics, religion, race, sexuality, and, you know, the typical stuff. Don't even talk about any of that stuff. You know, if someone asks you about your religion, don't answer them. Just be like, hey, this is my job, and because in the South, it's very common that they talk about religion. Now, if there's no one around, you could talk about it. Yeah, okay, I'm a Christian. That's what I say. You know, whatever. I follow. You know, I'm a believer in Christ, right? But if there's people around, it's like, no, I don't want to get into that. You know, my religion is between me and God, and no one else, right? Because people believe differently than you. There's Muslims. There's all kinds of people that are different than you, Hindus, right? So you want to make sure that if someone asks you what your religion you are, you know, I mean, in the South they kind of do that. Just be like, hey, look, it's my personal belief that I don't share that with people in the office space. You know, now to me, you can't discriminate against race, religion. You know. I've never experienced being discriminated against, you know, in the South as a Catholic. You know, I've had came out with ashes on my head once, and basically, people asked, but there was no condemnation. So basically, just never talk about race, religion, or politics when you're in your job. You can save that for social media, but make sure that you're on a private account, and you're only accepting people who are cool with you talking about that kind of shit. Because there's people that get pissed the minute you say something that they don't agree with. They're gonna want to defriend you, right? That's just how the world works. And you gotta remember, if you get fired, it's not your fault. If you're doing everything right and you don't get fired for sexual harassment, it's not your fault. Okay. So hopefully you do well in the job market, and that's all I gotta say.